Tonight on CTV News at 5.
That's just annoying. I don't know, it doesn't seem like good customer service.
Pay up or sit up. WestJet prepares to remove the recline option from some seats.
Think you can do it? We'll send you in, and we'd be happy to hear what you thought when you come out.
On the trail, if you want to get lost in the Halloween spirit, you've got a couple of options out there.
I was actually pretty emotional kind of before the game, before I got to the rink, just kind of thinking about all the sacrifices they've made.
Where the Buffalo roam, Cape Breton's Colton Ellis makes a triumphant NHL debut surrounded by family and friends.
Mainly clear and a bit cooler tonight with pleasant late October weather ahead for Friday.
Live from the Maritimes News Center, this is CTV News at 5.
Good evening and welcome to CTV News at 5. I'm Maria Penopalis. Thanks for joining us. First at 5 tonight, chair fare. WestJet's latest move might have you sitting up straight, literally. The airline plans to remove the recline option from some of its economy seats. And as CTV's Vanessa Wright reports, the move will have travelers choosing between comfort and cost. Hi there, Vanessa.
Spoke with today are not happy about this. Some even say it will impact whether they fly with this airline in the future.
It's what every airline tells you before takeoff. Sit back and relax. Well, now even that comes at a cost.
What's next? Are they going to charge you to use the washrooms?
WestJet says some of their Boeing 737 MAX planes will soon feature fixed recline seats. It means passengers will face an upcharge if they want more space and the option to lean their chair back.
It seems like over the last 20 to 30 years, what airlines have done is sort of piece out different parts of the flight experience and charge customers for different parts, sort of like almost like an a la carte menu.
The airline calls it a cabin refresh and says it's part of their goal of giving passengers different options at different price points. In an email to CTV News, a representative for WestJet explains part of this reconfiguration includes new standard economy seats, which are inclusive of a slight recline that cannot be adjusted.
That's absolutely criminal. It's insane. They charge for everything now. You can't even breathe air without being charged.
I think it's kind of crazy. It just seems like airlines are trying to find new ways to juice money out of their customers.
WestJet used to promote itself as the friendliest airline in the sky, and now they just seem to be downright hostile.
The extra charge isn't the only concern. Air Passenger Rights President Gabor Lukács says there could be a legal one, too.
Because it may be discriminatory against those passengers who are simply too tall to fit into those seats. WestJet cannot and must not be allowed to charge extra fees just because someone is taller. That's not permitted under the law. It is one thing to charge for extra comfort, but they cannot charge for extra height if you are a tall passenger.
He says passengers should know their rights.
The problem is that most people are just going to pay more because they don't want the fuss. It is a deceptive practice because there's no clarity that if you're a tall passenger, then you are going to be accommodated anyway. That is what needs to be made far more clear, and that's where I would like to see government intervention.
In their email to me today, WestJet maintains there is no fee to recline, only that the option to do so will be eliminated from some seats. With that said, to manually recline on those flights, you'll probably have to purchase an upgraded seat. The first aircraft with this reconfiguration is expected to enter service later this month, and the rest will follow early next year. Maria.
Thank you, Vanessa. CTV's Vanessa Wright for us in the news center. And that actually brings us to tonight's web poll. We are asking, would you pay a fee to be able to recline your seat on an airplane? These are your options. Yes, comfort is worth the cost. Or no, that's price gouging at its finest. Your final option, it would depend on the length of the flight. Just go to ctvnewsatlantic.ca to weigh in and to see the latest poll results. All right. Stephanie Seacos joins us now in for Todd Battis with a look at the headlines. Hi there, Steph.
Hi, Maria. Part-time faculty at 2 Nova Scotia universities are now on strike following failed negotiations to reach a new collective agreement. Part-time staff at St. Mary's University walked off the job today, while those from Mount St. Vincent University went on strike yesterday. We'll hear how this could impact students coming up at 6. New Brunswick's reliance on the United States for trade in the forestry sector has landed the province with the unfortunate distinction as one of the top provinces impacted by the ongoing tariffs. Lumber is now being tariffed at 45%. CTV's Laura Brown has more at 6. We're checking in again tonight on the maritime Christmas tree industry. Christmas is still 2 months away, but some trees are starting to be harvested for shipment to faraway places. Tonight at 6, we'll get a first-hand look at that process and find out how the drought conditions have affected this year's crop. Now with our first look at the forecast, here's CTV meteorologist Kaylin Mitchell.
Thank you, Stephanie. And speaking of drought conditions, it sure was nice to get a couple rounds of wet weather this week. Of course, our latest round that came through mostly last night in the form of some rain, some showers, and some thunderstorms. Now, in the wake of that round of wet weather, we did have a pretty pleasant late October day today across the region. Temperatures now, as we're still heading towards the first part of this evening, mostly in the range around the high teens for Nova Scotia, mid to high teens for Prince Edward Island, and low to mid-teens for areas of New Brunswick, except a little bit cooler up in the northwest where Edmundston is closer to 9. Winds a little bit on the breezy side, but still out of the south and southwest for the region. They're being sustained in most cases between 15 and 30 kilometers per hour. We are getting a few gusts still reported between 30 and 50 kilometers per hour. The wind speeds will be diminishing as we make our way through the night. As we take a look at things on radar and satellite, a lot of parts of the Maritimes today were mostly sunny or with a very fair weather mix of sun and cloud. We did see some spotty showers develop, though, through parts of New Brunswick as we went through the afternoon, even a very small and brief thunderstorm kind of drifting its way towards the Kennebecasis Valley area. Now, these showers are going to be winding down as we make our way through this evening. And then for the remainder of the night, we're looking at some fairly clear conditions for the Maritimes with temperatures just a little bit cooler than they were the past couple of nights. After that, it's a pretty fair weather end to this week and forecast for the upcoming weekend. We'll talk more about that when I'm back a little bit later on. Maria.
Thank you, Kaylin. We'll see you in a bit. Right now, though, CTV has teamed up with CAA Atlantic and Colette for our Costa Rica is Calling contest. We are giving away an unforgettable 11-night tour for 2 of beautiful Costa Rica. The winner will explore San Jose, hop aboard a riverboat for a jungle crocodile safari and bird watching excursion, and choose between a ziplining adventure or volcano lava field hike. Each weeknight from now until October 31st, we'll give you a keyword. Once you have it, head to ctvatlantic.ca and follow the contest prompts or scan the QR code on your screen right now. You can enter once per keyword. The winner will be announced November 7th. All right, tonight's keyword is tropical. Yeah, we want to send you to a tropical paradise. Good luck, everybody. All right, time for our first break here on CTV News at 5. Stay with us, though. Here's a look at what's coming up next.
I'm Derek Haggett in Loose Mountain, New Brunswick. Coming up on CTV News at 5, I'm going to take you for a tour of the haunted trail here on the Boyle family farm, and the owner will tell us what he enjoys the most about hosting this event. That story is coming up.
Celebrate the outstanding class of 2025. The Nova Scotia Sport Hall of Fame induction ceremony takes place Saturday, November 8th at 7 p.m. at the Lighthouse Arts Centre in Halifax. Visit nsshf.com to purchase tickets.
So there's no shortage of haunted houses or spooky homes around the Maritimes this Halloween season, but over the last few years, more and more haunted trails have popped up. CTV's Derek Haggett visited a couple of them today.
The haunted Halloween horror trail at Boyle Family Farm isn't too terrifying right now, but the screaming will start when the sun goes down.
When you see all the people standing in line stop and all turn their heads at the same time, because you can hear the chainsaws, you can hear the screaming and yelling, the hollering, and then you see people running out of the exit, it builds the anticipation before they go in.
From the social media team to the roughly 30 actors and people behind the scenes, there are a lot of moving parts. But it's all worth it to Boyle, who loves this time of year.
I think Halloween people are Halloween people. When that season comes, I think it challenges Christmas. People want to get out and they want to do fall fun activities, and a little spook and a little scare goes a long ways, right?
Kids are more than welcome if they dare.
We're not going to shy them away. If you think you can do it, we'll send you in, and we'd be happy to hear what you thought when you come out.
Meanwhile, the Haunted Corn Trail here at the Green Pig in Salisbury starts tonight, and the owner is promising some big scares this year. People coming to the Green Pig can expect over 40 characters in the creepy cornfield.
We're not going to let off, so if they're feeling very scared, we're going to push harder.
Dawn Beckwith and her crew have come up with a few extra haunts this Halloween season.
I think it's kind of fun just to be like pushed out of your comfort zone, and also it's just a great night of laughter and fear for you and like in a group of friends.
But is this trail kid-friendly?
If you are a tough 13-year-old, then yes, come on out. But if you are a scared 13-year-old, maybe you should stay home.
Don't say you weren't warned. Derek Haggett, CTV News, Salisbury, New Brunswick.
But how about if you're a scared 48-year-old? We were just saying there's nothing scarier than a creepy cornfield.
That's right. I was thinking of the houses. Yeah, I get it. It's scary, but the cornfields,
yeah.
Ooh, that's top tier.
I definitely watched Children of the Corn when I was way too young. Yeah. Way too young.
Traumatized her.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about the weather.
Yeah.
A lot of heavy rain last night.
Oh, it was nice to get that, though. If you were looking for somewhere to walk that's maybe a little less spooky than a cornfield, we're looking out here at the Public Gardens in the Halifax area today. Things colorful after the rain that went through last night. And a few thunderstorms as well. I'll have more in the forecast after the break.
Start your morning with us for what you need to start your day. News, weather, and even a little fun. Your Morning Atlantic with Amanda Devison, Crystal Garrett, and Latavia Beezer. Weekdays from 6 to 9 on CTV2 and ctvatlantic.ca.
After George Springer hit his game-changing home run earlier this week, someone at Gibson Memorial United Church in Fredericton showed their gratitude with this sign, Kaylin. It reads, "Thank you, God, for your love and George Springer." A big thanks to Office Administrator Natalie Walker for sending this photo our way. And in case you've been living under a rock, the Toronto Blue Jays take on the Los Angeles Dodgers in Game 1 of the World Series tomorrow evening. Go Jays, go. I have a feeling Chief Meteorologist Kaylin Mitchell will be front row center.
Oh, well, not actually physically at the game, but front row center in my living room. Some popcorn, and I'll be watching that game for sure. I think a lot of the country right now has Blue Jays fever. All right, let's take a look at our sunrise and sunset times. For that, we're going to go to beautiful Sydney Harbor. You can see that fair weather, mix of sun and cloud. A little bit of a breeze out there today, but it was mostly out of the south and southwest. Did keep temperatures a little bit more on the milder side for late October by a good few, and in some cases several degrees. Some high temperatures in the region hit up around the high teens today. Taking a look at our weather systems map, barometric pressure is still a little bit towards the lower side, but it is rising now that we're in behind that weather front that brought us rain showers and thunderstorms mostly last night across a good portion of the Maritime region. We did pick up some general rainfall amounts around 5 to 15 millimeters, a couple locally higher amounts that range between the 15 and 30 millimeter mark, due in part to the presence of some of those thunderstorms. And that was the second round of that type of rain that we had seen this week, and we really needed that. October was and still is trending towards the drier side, so we could still use more weather systems like this in the coming weeks ahead. In the meantime, taking a look at things on radar, there was still a little bit of wet weather that did fall through parts or is falling through parts of the Maritimes at this hour, and that includes some widely scattered showers around areas of New Brunswick. There's also still a low chance as we move over the next couple of hours of a spotty shower on the Annapolis Valley in Nova Scotia, maybe the Minas Basin, Cumberland, Colchester areas, and western Prince Edward Island. Now, as we move later into the evening hours, any of those showers that are still around, they're going to be coming to an end. And then we're looking at some fairly clear conditions during the rest of the night. There might just be a few clouds around, a little bit of patchy fog developing during the overnight hours. Now, through Friday morning, fog patches will be dissipating, and the afternoon, mostly a mix of sun and cloud around the region. There is a chance of some isolated showers for parts of Cape Breton for tomorrow, as the weather front remains just to the east of the Maritime region, stalled out over areas of of the Atlantic. Cape Breton just being a little bit closer to that front, so you do have a chance of seeing a few showers. Winds in the forecast for tonight, they continue to diminish. They remain mostly out of the south and southwest, so tomorrow's winds become a little bit more westerly in direction. They're going to be a little bit lighter as well compared to the last couple of days, mostly sustained between 10 and 20 kilometers per hour, maybe a few gusts between 20 and 30. This start, though, of a trend towards a more westerly wind is the start of temperatures really cooling down around the Maritimes as we move through the end of this week and this upcoming weekend. We've been mild for most of this week. Temperatures are going to be turning cooler as we head into the weekend. So taking a look at low temperatures in the forecast for tonight, with the clear conditions expected, temperatures are going to be cooler than the previous nights. Most of the lows for New Brunswick tonight will be falling into a range of 2 to 6 degrees. For Prince Edward Island tonight, most low temperatures between 8 and 10. And for Nova Scotia tonight, a lot of low temperatures between 6 and 10 degrees. Highs in the forecast for tomorrow for New Brunswick between 10 and 15. Around 15 degrees for Charlottetown and Prince Edward Island. Most of the high temperatures for Nova Scotia between 14 and 16 degrees. Start of the weekend on Saturday, there's a large area of high pressure that'll be centering itself over southern Ontario. We're not quite underneath that high pressure system, so it will be a mix of sun and cloud around the region. There will be once again be a chance of some showers in Cape Breton. And temperatures, the high temperatures cool a few degrees. So most of the highs on Saturday, low to mid-teens, except high single digits and low teens in northern areas of New Brunswick. Let's take a look at our Weather Watcher for tonight. And tonight's Weather Watcher is coming in from Belle McCallum from Bedford, Nova Scotia. Belle has sent us a drawing of a beautiful rainbow. She loves looking for rainbows after the rain finishes passing through. Thank you, Belle. And if you'd like to be one of our Weather Watchers, then come into CTV Weather Watchers, P.O. Box 1653, Halifax, Nova Scotia, B3J2Z4, or email kaylin.mitchell@bellemedia.ca. Maria.
Thank you, Kaylin. So St. Mary's University students stepped back in time recently. As CTV's Mike Lamb shows us, they participated in ancient Greek athletics and brought history to life in the process.
This is a group project, like a recreation of the ancient Olympic Games from 2,000 years ago. We all had a specific area of the Olympic Games or a sport to research, and now we are each presenting it and demonstrating what it would have looked like back then. This course, it's taught by Dr. Sveva Savelli. She is teaching us how sport has had an impact on not just Greece, but ancient Rome as well. We'll talk about the gladiators.
Are you not entertained?
But kind of an impact that it had over all ancient civilizations. This is a really cool course to get to kind of looking at more leisure and what they would do in their pastime, not the big wars and all that. So it's a really interesting course to be taking.
The event students are presenting today is called Reviving the Ancient Olympics. The expectation is to learn more about ancient athletic disciplines, about Olympic spirit, to understand how deeply sport is rooted in the ancient world.
Let's go, Sparta! Let's go!
Students learn more about this society and then at the same time start to ask questions about what sports means in our society and how this is different from the past. Since the dawn of time, humans thrived with the idea of competition, striving for fairness. And this is a way to see how everything developed and why we are here today. Critical thinking skill, connecting the dots between past, present, and future.
Looked like a pretty good throw. Thanks for sharing, everybody. Looked like fun. All right, time for our final break. But first, a preview of our last story of the night.
I'm Ryan McDonald. Tonight in the CTV News at 5, it was an NHL debut to remember last night for the latest Nova Scotian to make it to the big league. And for Colton Ellis, it was made all the more special by the fact family and friends from Cape Breton were in the building. The story is coming up.
It was a debut to remember for the first Cape Breton-born goalie ever to play in the NHL. As CTV's Ryan McDonald shows us, Colton Ellis of River Dennis, Nova Scotia, stole the show in front of a big group of family and friends from back home.
The road to the NHL has been a long one for a young man who grew up not far from the Trans-Canada Highway in rural Cape Breton.
25 years to kind of get to this point, and it's kind of realized my dream.
Colton Ellis' first start in net for the Buffalo Sabres against the Detroit Red Wings couldn't have gone much better. He made 27 saves in a 4-2 win, including a number of highlight reel stops, and was named the game's first star, all with a big crowd of family and friends watching from a private box.
I found out yesterday in the morning coming into the rink, so kind of had the day yesterday to prepare and get a bunch of my family and everybody in.
I don't know if you could have wrote a better script for it, actually.
Ellis's father, Brian, was there. He remembers the challenges helping his son find the proper playing time and competition to pursue his goal of playing pro.
Well, there's been a lot of miles, a lot of rinks we went through, and Colton has put a lot of time and effort in as well as we did, and he was determined, and he had a dream, and he stuck with it, and it's starting to pay off for him now.
Me and him are, I think, 2 of maybe 6 boys in our class, all the way until probably grade 8 or grade 9.
Brad Chandler and Colton Ellis have been close since childhood. He says becoming an NHLer hasn't changed his best friend one bit.
Nothing was given to him whatsoever. I mean, from where we came, even his resources, I mean, we didn't even have a rink in Waikagama for the majority of his childhood.
It's a good thing I can't see you guys. I think I'd be a little more nervous.
That was Ellis's reaction to being interviewed post-game by goaltending great Henrik Lundqvist, acting more like a starstruck fan than the first star of the game. As for what it meant to have so many people from back home in the building to support him,
I was actually pretty emotional kind of before the game, before I got to the rink, just kind of thinking about all the sacrifices they've made to kind of get me where I am today. So definitely couldn't have done it with all my family and everybody here tonight.
An NHL debut to remember, and a win that was hopefully the first of many. Ryan McDonald, CTV News, Sydney.
Congratulations, Colton. And you know what? He represents us so well, doesn't he?
Yeah, he sure does.
He's such a super guy. And it was so nice to see family there. And they were emotional. I mean, we're emotional. I can't imagine how emotional you guys all were. But outstanding. Well done all around.
I mean, how many of those moments do you get, right?
Wow.
Super exciting.
Pretty impressive. Yeah. Awesome. Can't wait to see where it takes you.
For sure.
All right, let's talk about the weather,
Yeah, so coming up at 6, we'll take a closer look at the rainfall amounts that came down across parts of the Maritimes. So this latest weather system that moved through, I was very happy that it included some of those thunderstorms because they did manage to boost up the rain for some areas. And we're into the extended forecast and looking pretty dry again over the next several days.
More on that coming up at 6. I'll see you tomorrow. The national news is next. Thanks for